Not far from Highbury, a new Arsenal empire is rising from the earth. Every great club needs a great home. Think Madrid? You think the Bernabeu. Think Milan? San Siro. Whisper it quietly, Man United, Old Trafford. Arsenal are building for greatness. Just ask Arsene Wenger.
The club is ready to cross another step, and that will help the club to be one of the biggest clubs in the world.
The new stadium will hold 60,000 fans, cost £357 million. Oh, and it'll be ready for the season after next. A stadium fit for a team of European champions. How Arsenal would love to win the Champions League before they leave Highbury. Tonight, the Greek champions Panathinaikos are the visitors, and here to enjoy it with me are Ali McCoist and Robbie Earle. Good evening, gentlemen. Ali, obviously the defeat at Old Trafford, the furore off the pitch, and then scrambling a draw at the weekend. Does that class as a mini crisis for Arsenal after 49 games unbeaten?
Well, it certainly shows they're vulnerable and human, if you like. I think that obviously a poor result at United for them. Saturday was probably a little bit more concerning for me, you know, against a team like Southampton, who everybody fancied them to win. But they are sitting top of the league. You know, they've had 2 draws away in the Champions League. I fully expect them to win tonight and certainly go and meet a step near a qualification. But
this group is really quite wide open with the top 3 teams at least, Robbie. It's there for the taking, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's a disappointment to Arsenal. When you look at the calibre of the teams in this league, you'd feel that Arsenal really would have stamped their authority on it. You know, be sitting there going into tonight's game reasonably comfortable. But it's almost becoming a must-win game for Arsenal, and I think that's a huge disappointment to the team.
They've got to really win 2 out of the next 3. Ali, Arsenal's team news tonight, the big news: Sol Campbell still not fit, his Achilles still causing him problems. And Seagan's retaining his place. He started the weekend against Southampton. They did concede from 2 set plays. Does that worry you?
It does. I think this is one of the questions that we're now beginning to ask about Arsenal. I think they've lost 6 goals in the last 3 games, you know, and defensively they're normally very solid. But, you know, look at Seagan in the centre of defence. I think that they're looking a little bit suspect at dead balls and crosses into the area. Certainly showed it against Southampton with the lapsed 2 headers. I don't think the goalkeeper's 100% happy in cross balls, and certainly the back 4 in front of them are noticing uncertainty.
Obviously, Greek football on a high after Euro 2004, but there aren't that many Greeks in the Panathinaikos squad. They're a multinational side, and it's an Argentinian, perhaps, who we should be keeping our eye out for.
Yeah, but the Greek side will come tonight, and they're not going to be under any pressure to force a play. Vinter will be at full-back, Bastianas will sit in the holding midfield player. Well, you talked about Gonzalez, the number 9. He's a captain, 24 years of age. He's a creative force in midfield, and Arsenal know all about him. You know, we were talking about Lehmann's mistake here, but I don't think we're giving credit to Gonzalez. That's a wonderful finish, believe me. And this is a lad, this is earlier in the competition against Rosenberg, his 2nd of his goals. Look how he turns and hits this. He plays in the hole, Gabby, and it'll be vitally important Vieira or Fabregas get around him and make sure they stop him getting on the ball.
Do you feel confident for Arsenal?
They need a performance. They're due one. You know, we haven't really seen the real Arsenal in this competition. I think we'll see them tonight.
Hoping they're going to give us one. Thank you very much, gentlemen. A big night then at Highbury when we return. We'll show you what happened also in tonight's early kick-off. Chelsea, the visitors to Moscow. We're at Highbury, where Arsenal face the Greek champions Panathinaikos. Quite a year so far for Greek football, and quite an evening for London football, because earlier this evening Chelsea were in action. This is how they got on in Moscow.
Awful penalty.
So there you go, Group H, Chelsea, 12 points, means they are through to the knockout stages with 2 games to spare. Of course, Porto and PSG don't kick off until a little later, in fact, the same time that we kick off here. Well done to Chelsea. Now then, here's our Champions League competition. Best of luck if you're having a go.
There's £1,000 in cash and a chance to win Champions League quarter-final tickets if you can tell us who scored Real Madrid's winner against Dynamo Kiev. Was it A, Ronaldo, B, David Beckham, or C, Michael Owen? Ring now on 0901 65 65 600 or text CHAMP followed by A, B or C to 63334. The winner's name enters the grand prize draw for a trip to a quarter-final match of your choice. Calls cost 60p per entry, mobile rates vary. Text will cost 50p plus the standard network rate. And good luck.
Ali, interestingly, I read this morning that Jose Mourinho thinks that Chelsea can't win both. They can't win the league and the Champions League, and perhaps it's kidology, but would you expect Arsene Wenger to believe something like that, or does he think he can do both?
Well, I certainly think that'd be kidology from him, but Arsene Wenger will really want the European things he really wants. They've won the domestic scene, they've won the league so many times, they want to win the Champions League.
Would you go along with that, Robbie? This is the thing that they really covet.
Yeah, I think, you know, in an argument with a team a couple hundred miles up the road, every time there's an argument, Manchester United can have the last say. Arsenal want to have their say as well. And
they need to get that monkey off their back.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to enjoy this. The teams are all... Highlights of all tonight's Champions League action on ITV1 at 11:30, including extensive action from Chelsea's visit to Moscow. Then on Thursday, the UEFA Cup takes centre stage. Newcastle face Dinamo Tbilisi at St James's Park. We're with them from 7 o'clock on ITV2. And on Sunday, there's a chance to catch up on all the Championship action. 10:30, ITV1. Runaway leaders Wigan are the main game. Here we're focusing, of course, on the Champions League. Arsenal 1-0 up after 45 minutes. Was that a good performance from you for Arsenal?
It was controlled, Gab. There was very few scares along the way, but I think we always expect a little bit more from Arsenal, don't we? Especially once they get their nose in front. Maybe a little unfairly, we expect them to go on and devastate teams, and that's not quite happened yet.
Guys, have a look for me, if you will, at the penalty incident. And we've got a few angles here. It's the kind of thing we see in Europe and indeed in the Premiership.
I mean, in many ways, Arsenal have been quite controlled, and you know, they've not really had any problems.
Do you want to add anything to what Gabriel was saying there about the kind of concern from the Arsenal bench every time the ball goes over the halfway line?
Well, I think that piece of action summed it up. They've only had one shot at goal, and it's a shot from distance. It's looking at this moment in time, the only real threat that Panathinaikos is going to come from will be a dead ball or a long-range shot, and that's why you want to defend as far up the park as possible.
And I guess they're mindful of the fact the last two draws, they've been leading in those games, you know, only to walk away with 1 point. They do need this win.
They do, and you can see that in the team, and that's why I think there's a little bit of caution there. They haven't really gone gung-ho, you know, and left things open, but they're in control, and all they need is one more goal, and I think it's done and dusted.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the moment. Second half action coming up. Arsenal tonight have definitely got their serious heads on. Welcome back to Highbury, where Arsenal are leading Panathinaikos by 1-0 here at half-time. Let's have a little look at some of the other scores around Europe. Well, the other one in this group, Eindhoven leading Rosenborg by 1-0. If it stays that way, Rosenborg would be out of the Champions League group stages. Group F, 1-1 at the moment between Barcelona at the Nou Camp and AC Milan. They were leading Milan, and Celtic have got a goal against Shakhtar Donetsk. Remember, they have to win tonight to stay in this competition. Alan Thompson with that goal. And in Group G, it's 0-0 between Inter Milan and Valencia at the moment. Werder Bremen are beating Anderlecht by 3-1. And there you see Chelsea beat Moscow in Russia this evening by 1-0. This is the goal that sees them. So well done to Chelsea. Well, almost time for the second half, but first, have another go at our competition. Best of luck to you.
There's £1,000 in cash and a chance to win Champions League quarter-final tickets if you can tell us who scored Real Madrid's winner against Dynamo Kiev. Was it A, Ronaldo, B, David Beckham, or C, Michael Owen? Ring now on 0901 65 65 600 or text CHAMP followed by A, B or C to 63334. The winner will be announced on itv.com/football on Monday afternoon, and the name entered into the grand prize draw for a trip to a quarter-final match of your choice. Our last winner was Brian Taylor from Ely. He correctly answered A, Ryan Giggs. Congratulations to him.
Almost time for the second half here. Let's get back to Andy and John. I think they've got a view on Thierry Henry's celebration. Am I right, chaps?
You are, Gabby. Yes, I think it stems from the first game between these, abused by the Panathinaikos supporters, and his celebration that night of his goal from open play was rather similar in that he's made
there. Seagan again, unfortunately, is going to turn out the villain.
What is it, Ali? Because, you know, Robbie tried to put his finger on it there. They don't seem to move through the gears so fluidly, do they?
They totally dominated the first half without playing exceptionally well. And the thing about it in the Champions League, especially a team like Panathinaikos, they make you earn your chances. and they certainly make you work for your goals, and that was the case tonight. They were solid, they're difficult to break down, and you just have to look at the chances Arsenal created, the few and far between, and against the other big teams in the Premiership, if you like, they do create chances.
Bit nervous for them now. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your company this evening. Highlights of Chelsea's match in Moscow lead the way at 11:30 tonight on ITV1. Then on Thursday, it's Newcastle United against Dinamo Tbilisi on ITV2 from 7 o'clock in the UEFA Cup. Then on Sunday, it's our regular look at all the action from the Championship, ITV1 at 10:30. So, in the Premiership and the Champions League, that's 4 games without a win for the Gunners. Is the Arsenal empire crumbling? Good night.
This programme was sponsored by Ford and PlayStation 2, UEFA Champions League sponsors.